Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most iconic origin stories in comics. Since we'll be breaking down these heroes' humbling beginnings, some spoilers may be ahead.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Number 20. The Rocketeer.
Until then, all of Los Angeles is buzzing. Who is the Rocketeer?
When pilot Cliff Secord stumbles upon a top-secret experimental flying rocket pack, his whole life changes. A helmet is quickly made to go along with it, and soon Cliff ends up saving the life of a pilot with alcohol use disorder. He's soon dubbed the Rocketeer, and gets into adventures set across the colourful backdrop of late 1930s Americana.
I like it.
He might not have the most explosive origin story, but if anything, that's what makes this superhero so cool. No convoluted lore, no multiple retcons, just a period piece about a guy with a rocket and a heart of gold, and that's really it. And it's that simplicity that makes this blast from the past so timeless.
Big gopher.
Number 19. Captain Marvel.
I'd like to purchase some of your finest beer, please.
Young orphan Billy Batson's world changes when, on one fateful day, a magical subway train leads him to the Rock of Eternity, where he meets the wizard Shazam.
Lay your hands on my staff.
Gross.
Bestowed with great powers, all Billy has to do is say the word Shazam to become the iconic and adult Captain Marvel.
What happened to me? Why am I... What did you do to me? What did you do to my voice?
He's pretty much the magical equivalent to Superman, but what sets him apart is how he's still just a kid. He's a superhero who can juggle buildings but also has to juggle homework. It's the kind of fairy tale that so many kids wish they could have. Gain immense superpowers with just a word? Yeah, we'd take that deal too.
Oh hey, what's up? I'm a superhero.
Yeah, his name is Captain Sparkle Fingers.
Number 18. Swamp Thing.
This really could be what's making people sick.
It's like Columbo.
A research scientist working in the Louisiana swamps, Alec Holland created a powerful and lucrative biorestorative formula. It was meant for good, but an evil organization called the Conclave had other plans. Alec was killed by them, but not before getting bonded to the formula and exposed to the swamp, turning him into Swamp Thing. This is probably one of the most out there origin stories. It's the birth of Swamp Thing, but also the death of Alec Holland. That's right, he really died. It's a story of not just style, but also substance. It raises deep questions about consciousness and identity. This isn't just a superhero getting their start, it's a philosophical examination of what makes you, you.
I don't know how far that will take me away from who I was before.
Number 17. Ghost Rider. You should know never to make a deal with the devil, but just in case you don't, Ghost Rider serves as a cautionary tale. Selling his soul in order to cure his mentor Crash Simpson's cancer, Johnny quickly learns that Mephisto is only in business for himself.
One day, when I need you, I will come.
The demon engineers Crash's demise anyway, and forces Johnny to bond with Zerathos, the spirit of vengeance. Ghost Rider's story is a timeless warning not to gamble with forces you can't comprehend. It's also a Faustian bargain, and you really don't see that in comics too often. Still, being able to turn into a flaming skeleton and ride motorcycles is pretty freaking cool, even if you do have to deal with hell along the way. Number 16. Doctor Strange.
Wise choice.
It's all in the hands, except when you're Dr. Stephen Strange. The once gifted surgeon lost the use of them in a devastating car accident. Stephen sought ways to heal them, but what he couldn't get from medicine, he got from magic instead.
Even if my fingers could do that, my hands would just be waving in the air. I mean, how do I get from here to there?
As Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange defended the Marvel Universe against the strangest magical beings. It might sound surprising, but this hero wasn't a very noble person at first. In fact, he was kind of a jerk.
The work I'm doing is going to save thousands for years to come. In ER, you get to save one drunk idiot with a gun?
That's why it's fitting how the mystical Doctor Strange could only really become who he was after gaining a lesson in humility. I mean, you can't warp multiple realities without getting your own reality warped first.
Stop.
Number 15. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I heard his bike turns into a plane, or like a jetpack.
What makes this story so interesting is that most probably only know the half of this shell. Sure, we know that 4 young turtles got imbued in ooze and became mutated ninja warriors, but the very first iterations of these characters are a lot darker. The original version is mostly the same, but it also involves them battling and brutally beating any and all foes. I mean, they practically killed the Shredder in their debut, for crying out loud. Needless to say, they're a bit of a tonal mismatch to the Turtles we know today.
I remember how they used to feel, busting up crime syndicates. Sure, they had a bunch of guns, but they weren't like these guns.
In a way, this origin is like a time capsule. It's a look into the Turtles' past and a reminder of how far they've come since the ultra-violent 1980s. Number 14. Martian Man Hunter.
I've missed you, my husband, and so have the children.
While scientist Saul Erdel toyed around with a teleportation machine searching for discoveries, he managed to pull John Jones to Earth, separating the Martian from his family and civilization. Unfortunately, John would soon become the last of the Green Martians.
My dear children.
Are you staying home this time, Father?
There's a lot of tragedy with this backstory. His entire people and way of life were extinguished. It's an origin that's pretty similar to Superman's, but what makes John's story different is how he was an adult when he lost everything. He knew what life on Mars was like, which makes his tragedy all the more devastating. While these losses could break anyone, John instead dedicated his life to protecting Earth. His inability to let his past break him is nothing if not inspirational.
With all the Martians gone, the invaders had nothing left to feed upon, so they turned their sights to Earth.
Number 13. Green Lantern.
To be chosen to join its ranks is the highest of honors and the greatest of responsibilities.
After Green Lantern Arbenser crash lands on Earth, he entrusts his ring to none other than headstrong pilot Hal Jordan. Gaining a weapon like a Green Lantern ring can be a bit of a learning curve. Fortunately for Hal, he's a quick learner. He hasn't just excelled as a Green Lantern, he's become arguably the greatest of them all. Hal's initiation into the Green Lantern Corps is a wonderful fish-out-of-water tale. While he can be a bit too cocky at times, that fearlessness of his is what makes him one of the galaxy's best protectors.
Green.
Number 12. The Hulk. Bruce Banner's life transformed when he was hit by gamma radiation while trying to rescue Rick Jones from a dangerous testing site. From there, you already know the drill. When Bruce gets angry, the Hulk comes out to play. However, this barely scratches the surface. His origin is a lot more heavy. He isn't just a giant green guy punching problems away. He's a monstrous force of nature that was born from rage and pain. Writers such as Peter David, Al Ewing, and others would expand upon the lore surrounding Hulk, more specifically, honing in on Bruce's fractured psyche, a strange relationship with his father, and all its implications. In short, he's one of the strongest and most complex heroes there is.
My heartbeat. It's like boom. Boom.
Number 11. The Flash. Do you believe in the impossible? You will. One night, Barry Allen is suddenly hit by lightning while working in his lab. If that wasn't shocking enough, he's also exposed to highly volatile chemicals in the process. The incident permanently changes Barry and allows him to run faster than humanly possible. No longer an ordinary forensic scientist, he puts his speed to good use and becomes the Flash. This backstory helped push superheroes into the Silver Age, an era where heroes were rooted in science rather than fantasy. It was also an origin so good that DC used it again, with a similar lightning-fueled incident also being how Wally West got his powers. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Number 10. Wonder Woman.
Stay very, very still for me, my friends. Please, so important.
How many superheroes can claim they were created from a clay statue and given life by Greek gods? Growing up on Amazon, Princess Diana enjoyed the benefits of living a secluded life among immortal women. But when an American pilot crash landed on their island, a whole new world opened up to her.
Welcome to jolly old London.
It's hideous.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
After she won the right to return the stranger to the outside world, she chose to start a new life there. Man's world needed the message of peace and justice that she brought with her in her new guise as Wonder Woman. Number 9. Punisher.
Not vengeance. Punishment.
Frank Castle was a United States Marine with an affinity for getting the job done, and the weapons to do it properly. While on leave in New York, he took his wife and children to Central Park, but they did not have a good time. The Castles unfortunately found themselves witnesses to a mob hit, and the gangsters didn't want anyone who saw it to talk. Frank survived, but his family didn't. Wrong move, bad guys. Naturally, he wanted justice, but the police were in the mafia's pocket, so Castle put on a costume, grabbed some weapons, and brought vigilante justice to a whole new level. Number 8. Iron Man. Tony Stark had it all: women, money, and genius. But his charmed life took a nasty turn while demonstrating his new microtransistor technology in Vietnam, which was later changed to present-day Middle East. Stark was injured in an explosion and ended up with a piece of shrapnel dangerously close to his heart. Taken prisoner by rebels, Stark is held hostage and told to engineer weapons for them to be used against the United States. Stark pretended to work for his captors, but instead he created a suit of armor that protected his heart from the shrapnel and gave him great power. Using the suit to escape, Stark started a new life as a superhero, eventually going on to form the Avengers. Number 7. Wolverine. While most of the X-Men have interesting origins related to the discovery of their mutant powers, Wolverine's story is definitely the most fleshed out. When his adoptive father was killed by his birth father, James Howlett's anger brought forth his mutant abilities, consisting of bone claws and the ability to heal from almost any injury. The healing power kept Howlett young throughout the decades, and helped him pull through some seriously messy fights. He eventually became part of a secret government program, which used a painful procedure to fuse his bones with adamantium, making his bones and claws almost indestructible. Wolverine eventually joined up with the X-Men, and sales figures speak for themselves.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Number 6. Daredevil.
That light? At the end of the tunnel? Guess what? That's not heaven.
One of the few Marvel heroes with a secret identity, Matt Murdock is a lawyer from Hell's Kitchen. Matt's father, a boxer who's seen better days, wanted Matt to get an education and make something of himself.
You don't hit nothing but books, get me? You'll be a doctor or a lawyer. Not like me.
As a result of an accident with some chemicals, Matt lost his ability to see, but this also heightened all his other senses, more than compensating for his loss of eyesight.
But most amazing of all, my sense of sound gave off a kind of radar sense.
After his father was killed by the mob for refusing to throw a fight, Matt decided to fight crime and clean up Hell's Kitchen. By day, he was lawyer Matt Murdock with a visual impairment. By night, he was Daredevil, the man without fear. Number 5. Fantastic Four. Scientist Reed Richards' admittedly lofty dream was to explore space. With buddy Ben Grimm, fiancée Sue Storm, and Sue's brother Johnny, Reed piloted an experimental manned rocket into space. After being bombarded by cosmic rays, the four found they'd developed unusual abilities. Reed could stretch his body like a rubber band, while his wife Sue could turn invisible and project force fields, while Johnny could burst into flame and fly. Ben, however, got the short end of the stick and his body was permanently transformed into stone. This quartet banded together as the Fantastic Four, and overnight reversed the financial fortunes of an ailing Marvel Comics.
I need names and shots. Bartender!
Number 4. Captain America.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
In the days leading up to America's involvement in World War II, a plan was needed to battle the Nazi spies on the home front. 98-pound weakling Steve Rogers was chosen to be the subject of a super-secret super soldier project.
Grenade!
Get away! Get back!
Injected with an experimental serum, Rogers became a muscled and agile fighting machine. Unfortunately, a spy not only killed the creator of the serum, but also destroyed all traces of the serum itself. The only beneficiary of the serum, Steve became Captain America, a symbol of the ideals America would soon be fighting for. Number 3. Superman.
Hi.
Who doesn't know this story? With his home planet Krypton facing destruction, baby Kal-El was placed in a rocket and sent to Earth. A kindly elderly couple, the Kents, raised him as their son, Clark.
All these years, as happy as we've been, how I've prayed and prayed the good Lord to see fit to give us a child.
The yellow son of the Earth gave the boy powers beyond imagination, and made it clear to the Kents that their son was indeed someone truly special. Clark took on the guise of a mild-mannered reporter for the Daily Planet, but he sheds this disguise to fight crime and save the Earth as the one and only Superman. Oh, and he also gave birth to the entire superhero genre along the way. Not bad, eh?
Good night.
Oh, good night!
Number 2. SpiderMan. Teenage drama is well expressed in the story of Peter Parker, a nerdy student who was the butt of derision by the cool kids. Bitten by a radioactive spider, Parker found himself gifted with enhanced strength, an ability to climb walls, and a handy-dandy spider sense that let him know when danger was near. Parker's initial reaction to his new powers was to earn money by fighting in a wrestling tournament. When a thief ran by him, Peter didn't bother to get involved, and regretted it when the thief killed his beloved Uncle Ben. From that moment on, Spider-Man vowed to use his awesome powers for good.
Well, beats taking the subway.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Batman.
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Billionaire playboys who become heroes like Green Arrow got their influence from the Dark Knight. As a young boy, Bruce Wayne saw his parents brutally gunned down in front of him. He spent years training to achieve peak physical and mental condition in order to fight criminals like those that killed his parents.
I can teach you to become truly invisible.
One night, while pondering how he could use criminals' natural cowardice against them, a bat flew in Bruce's window. He took that as a sign and became the dreaded Batman, the scourge of evildoers everywhere.
Why bats? Lost away?
Bats frighten me. This time my enemies shared my dread.
It's been told many times, but it still packs a considerable punch.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
So, is there a superhero origin that hits close to home for you? Let us know in the comments.
Have you concluded admiring yourself?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.